Yo, what's up, jazz guitar friends? Larry Tambanini here, LT Jazz Guitar, under 5 minutes. You just caught me playing through Peace, probably my favorite Horace Silver tune. I love Horace Silver, such a great song. But I'm not here today to talk about Horace Silver or Peace. I'm here today to talk about mastering short song forms and understanding how many bars you're playing really matters, right? Some people say they got bars. Well, how many bars do you have, right? I really need to know. And so much of playing jazz just has to do with understanding how to handle those bars. Peace is a 10-bar tune. There aren't a lot of songs that are 10 bars. And there aren't a lot of tunes that have 10-bar parts. That's what sort of sets this song apart. You know, a long time ago in the late 90s when I went to school at UCLA, aka University closest to the Langhorne area, or Bucks County Community College, I had a great professor named Ben Schachter. And part of Ben's class was you had to pick a tune, any tune, and be able to explain it to the class, right, as your final. Right? Pretty genius idea, and a great way to sort of be able to speak the jazz language, which is communicate a lot of information in a very short time, but to do it very succinctly and very clearly, right? Communication, clarity, all that stuff. You know, you could have picked a blues. I thought since a blues is 12 bars and Peace is 10 bars, that's just way less work. So pretty good and dead giveaway that like I had an internalized form, right? Because that you could just pretty much go in there and be like, hey, we're playing this blues. It's the one blues that goes to like the 4 and does the, walk down from F, right? Right? Real simple. That's what most people did, but not me. And Peace, for being a 10-bar tune, is a pretty deep song, right? So maybe about like 5 or 10 minutes, I got the axe because I was still on the first 4 bars. Now, on video, if I had to give a really short, communicate those 10 bars, the first thing I would say is Horace Silver, Peace, 10-bar tune. The way I think of it is, first thing is how am I going to cut those 10 bars up? 4, 4, and 2, right? This is a weird way to approach it, but I sort of have selective dyslexia. 4, 4, and 2, that's weird, right? Well, let's talk about the ending first. And the ending is just that long, right? Turnaround, right? I like those chords. So there's the 2. Now the whole thing is how am I getting back to B flat? Well, very quickly, if I was to explain the first 4 bars, well, this song is in B flat, but it starts on a 2-5 going to the 6, right? Right, I have this 2-5, almost like it's going to go to the F, right? But it goes to B major, right? This is the cool part about this song. And really quick after it does this, I have a 2-5 to the 1. So just in those first 4 bars, you can see how that would be difficult for anybody to explain, right? Moves quite a bit. 2-5 of the 6, like it's gonna go to an F. Neapolitan, 2-5 back to the 1, right? Then I have another, my next 4 bars, I'm moving a lot. I'm gonna be moving from A to D flat, right? Let's talk about this A. I have a 2-5 going to the A, going down to a 6, right? The melody dictates the harmony. There's that D, right? And then here's our last 2 bars. But again, a challenge to learn and a challenge to be able to explain a tune like that quickly. Now, like I said, I'm not here today to talk about that song. That's 10 bars. So, so much of music is this 4 bar built on 4 bars, right? If you can't understand a 4 bar phrase, you're going to have a really, really difficult time. So, what's an idea of just being able to handle 8 bars, right? Or 2 4 bar phrases? Well, how many songs are just what I like to call turnaround songs? If I were to take a tune like Softly as in a Morning Sunrise, right? Just the chords, I'd find out that my A section is just one long turnaround. Wow. I mean, just being able to sort of get that feel with the turnaround, right? Now, I played a couple different chords there just to break it up, right? You know, so many musicians, young musicians, and even older musicians that are trying to like cram all that information. You know, heard this before. It's better to play one song 20 times than 20 songs one time through. Same thing really goes for like any of these sections. How are you going to play really, really challenging, Wayne Shorter tunes if you can't play the stuff that he heard to build off of it, right? Bringing up Wayne and these, song forms and stuff, we're playing an 8 bar form, trying to hold that 8 bars. Are there 9 bar songs? Well, there's a lot of 9 bar pop songs. Kind of happens with people holding notes and stuff, but they're out there. Wayne Shorter has a song called Virgo, which is built off 3 9 bar phrases, right? Get it? 9, Virgo, 9th month, right? Pretty clever. But again, really hard to feel. So we talked about a 10 bar song form. We talked about like mastering 8 bars. 4 is going to lead us to 8, but we have to be able to feel those 4 bars. And then we talked about peace, which is a 10 bar form. But really, it's 2 4 bars and 1 2 bar phrase that sort of move around a lot. That's the challenge of that song. The way it starts, going to the 6, fakes you out, ends up going to the Neapolitan and then back down. And then goes the other way to A, which goes to a 6, and then goes all the way down to that E flat, taking you to this D flat, right? You think the song's over, right? Because it could be over, but you have this little 2 bar phrase. Whoops. Definitely would prefer that B over an F, right? There's that extra 2 bars that's making it 10. Now, we talk about a 12-bar blues, right? That's the next natural step. There's an 11-bar blues that Freddie Hubbard wrote called The Prophet. I think it's on Hubtones or Breaking Point. Really weird to play. I think they might even like play the head as 11 bars, but then solo over 12 bars. Are there 13-bar blues? I'm sure they're out there. I know Sonny Rollins has one called Decision. I played that one before. It's like a minor blues. Shout out to Tim Wolf who hit me to that. And then we have 14. Are there 14-bar songs? Yes. It was a very good year, made famous by Frank Sinatra. Adapted to being a 14-bar tune. But there's song forms that are 14 bars, right? Now, do you just try to like load a big 14-bar tune into your head? Yeah, absolutely, break it down. If I was to take a tune like Alone Together, which I had done a video on, this Alone Together, hey, it's 14 bars, but it starts out like it's going to be a turnaround, right? And it moves to the 4. That's 8 bars, right? So obviously, if I can group this into 8 and 6, that's going to be really, really helpful, right? Always that extra time, It really, really makes a huge difference in a tune. Even a song like Stablemates, right? Wow, another challenging 14-bar tune. Am I going to think of a tune like Stablemates as a 14 bar song? No, I'm going to, right? I'm going to, wow, this sort of feels like 8 bars, right? And then I have another 6. There's that 2 bars of a major chord, right? Making it all like sort of mathematically work out. And again, a tune like Stablemates, which is a really, really challenging song, you know, once you start to break that one up, there's a lot of different ways to analyze the harmony, but like when you're just breaking it up in your head, you can pretty much feel that that's an 8 and an 8 and 6 disguised as one big 14, right? Right, another transitional chord, real long, 2/5. The way I look at it is, once you get to that F minor, it's just a long turnaround, right? Almost like an exercise at some point. But again, that's what's gonna make that song work for me. So okay, mastering these short song forms. I started out thinking about 8 bars. You know, we kind of have like the weird 9 bar tunes or songs with 9 bar phrases. We have a tune like Peace, which is 10 bars. We have our blues and our weird blues, which is like, you know, it's going to be 12 most of the time, but, you know, so every so often you run across an 11 bar one or a 13 bar one. Now we're up to 14, right? A tune like Lush Life is also built on 7 and 7 14 bar phrases. Really challenging song that I wish I knew. The next step would be like, are there 15 bar tunes out there probably in the pop world? You know, thinking about a song like Yesterday that has like a 7 bar bridge or a 7 bar B section, right? The next step is 16 bar forms. Wow. I love 16 bar tunes. There's a lot of famous ones. Giant Steps, Central Park West, Yesterdays, 16 bar tune. Summertime, 16 bar tune. Another song I really like, Minority. And anytime you break these tunes down, even like Yesterdays, it's always going to be a combination. Okay, you know, I have a tune like Yesterdays. It starts in D minor. If I was to play through it and listen to it, wow, sounds like it's some turnaround stuff for my first 4 bars. All right, that's 25%. But not the next part. You have this little walk down. All right, so I have 2 4-bar phrases. Now what's going to happen? I have this little rhythm section thing. Rhythm changes happening. Yeah. Wow, okay, so that really moves. That's like 4 4-bar phrases, right? I have like one turnaround thing. I have a D minor walk down guy. I have a 4-bar rhythm section thing. And then I end up having all this kind of crazy action happening towards the end, right? Where I end up going, wow, that was pretty slick, right? I went C, F, B flat, like it's going back to another tune, but nope, it just goes up a half step and brings me right back. It's a 4-bar phrase. So really mastering those short song forms, just can't emphasize how really important that is. And you know, I get so many students and a lot of people, and you know, the first thing any good teacher is going to do is they're going to try to play with you, or they're going to try to hear you play to hear how you interact. And if you're struggling playing like, you know, AABA song forms, and then you're trying to play like, you know, a Bill Evans tune, like I can't tell you how many people like I've taught that have a hard time playing form and they want to play like Turn Out the Stars, or even a song like a lot of Cole Porter songs, which aren't harmonically challenging, but you know, they're long forms. Even a song like Night and Day, gonna do like, oh, you know, something a little bit different. You should be really working on these short form tunes. Blues, 16 bar forms, songs that have those strange bars in them, you know. Get it in there, it really breaks up the set as well. So, all right, jazz guitar friends, I hope everyone's having a great holiday season. Try to be cool and keep it swinging. Bebop.